Welcome to the M&M Experience. I'm Marilyn,
And I'm Melody.
and this is our first podcast together. So welcome. As you can see, we have on our homecoming shirts. We are gearing up for Winthrop's homecoming next week. We also have our homecoming nails,
Yeah,
with
go
just a
Eagles.
little extra. So we wanted to invite you all into that space with us that we enjoy annually. I definitely enjoy annually. So we'll kick off talking a little bit about our homecoming experience, and then also the Winthrop legacy that's in our family.
And again, as Marilyn said, thank you for joining us. We have several people in our family that have attended with Winthrop University. And as Marilyn came up with the idea for a podcast, we thought what would be a great way to kick off the M&M experience, other than paying homage to a university that has benefited our family for decades. And so we often talk about, or in mainstream, sometimes there's a misperception when we attend a PWI that we don't tend to honor the legacy that is in families. And so we wanted to kind of start this off and honor the people that came before us at Winthrop University, and the ones that have come after us at Winthrop University, and are currently there. And so our aunts, our mother, our uncle attended Winthrop University in the 1970s. Of course, they had a different Winthrop than you and I experienced in the 1990s. It was popping. Okay. And so then our niece attended in
2014 to 2018.
2014, 2018. Of course, she had a very different Winthrop than you and I experienced. Mm-hmm. And then my daughter is there currently doing a middle college dual enrollment program at Winthrop University, to where she actually has a real student ID. And she brags about it too. And so we wanted to just highlight those that came before us. Like I said, our mom, our aunts, our uncle, who was actually a part of the first male class of students at Winthrop University in 1974, I want to say.
Something like that.
Yes. And so, yeah, we have a lot to share. We wear our Winthrop gear with great pride. And Marilyn and I had two different experiences. And then, of course, I was talking to our aunt the other day, and she shared some of her experiences as well. But do you want to talk about our experiences first?
Absolutely. And first, let's go back. I'm a researcher. Let's explain or describe the terms that we're using. Everybody may not know what PWI stands for. Predominantly white institution. I believe they've come up with a more politically correct label for it now, but for us, it's PWI. And then, of course, HBCU stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. So wanted to give you all some context there.
Thank you, Dr. Martin.
You're welcome. Yeah. You're welcome. I'm always wearing that hat. But we wanted to kind of kick off our as we gear up towards homecoming, to talk about our experience at Winthrop. And anyone who knows me personally, or even a little bit, knows that one of the things that I love most and that's near and dear to my heart is Winthrop. And it's because of my experience at Winthrop. I was actually just at an event with current Winthrop students on Thursday night, because I like to stay connected to the university and give back as much as I can as an alum. And so during our time there, so we were there in the late 90s. We don't want to date ourselves too much. They can figure it out.
Why not? They'll figure it out.
Yeah. And as Melody said, our experiences was different than our mother and our aunts and uncle, as well as our nieces. Well, my nieces, her niece and daughter. But when I was at Winthrop, it was such a warm experience for me. So we are from a very small town. We got to give a shout out to our hometown, and we have about 3 different names. So bear with us. Rich Springs, South Carolina.
RSM.
We graduated from Rich Springs Monetta High School in Aiken County. Monetta. We're physically located in Monetta, I guess, where we were raised, South Carolina. Baseburg, which was our home address. Right?
Zip code and all.
Yes. And then we have family and went to school in both Saluda counties and Aiken County. So we are
all that.
we're kind of mutts.
Don't call us
You think?
mutts.
Don't call us
No,
mutts.
we're not nuts.
Well,
Mm-mm.
we did a lot of cross
There's a rural
county and
melting pot.
rural.
We'll call it a
Yes,
rural
yes,
melting pot.
yes. A rural melting pot is a great way to
Yeah.
describe it.
Yeah.
So that is our roots, and so coming to Rock Hill, Winthrop at the time, Winthrop University at the time, was was a different experience because we were from such a small town,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So for us, I think back then, Winthrop was still a smaller school to the point where most people thought it was private
Yes.
and still think it's a private institution.
Yes.
It has never, it is not private. I won't say it's never been,
Right.
because when they started back in the 1800s, I'm not sure. But it is not a private institution. It is a public institution. But it has that, it was, the enrollment was small enough that it gave me that home community feel.
Yep.
It was always a safe place for me, even though I went home a lot when I was a freshman.
We did. You and I was
Why did we,
every weekend. Okay.
we,
Every weekend we went home.
I know
But
why
that
I
was
went
part of
home.
the
That was a part of the
transition. That's right.
transition.
Oh,
Yes, I
yeah.
was a little in love, but we don't have to talk about that on this show. But it was such a place, and when I think about it, the relationships that I have built, I still have a best friend that I talk to several times a week.
Yep.
Unless life is life, and for both of us,
Yep.
went to university,
Yeah.
sorority sisters, like all the things. And up until recently, I believe there is still some administrative faculty staff that still worked at Winthrop. Do you remember Larry, the calf? I don't know if you remember. You saw his face. Anyway, Larry, who was working in the CAF when we were there,
Oh.
was still working in the New Student Center up until, I want to say last year, the last academic year.
Wow.
Yes. And so I believe Winthrop, they changed their vendors. You know how they go Aramark and
Yep.
Sedeco and stuff.
Mm.
And I'm not sure if he's still there. But Larry, I saw
You
Larry.
remember your face?
He remembered my face, and I almost cried. Okay. I almost cried. Just because of, yeah, and stepping foot on that campus to this day,
Yeah.
it's next to none. So, that is my Winthrop experience. I'll stop and let Melody talk about hers, because like she said, it was a little different
Yeah.
for us.
It was. And Marilyn could talk 3 days about
3
her
days,
Winthrop experience.
at least, maybe 5.
I affectionately
Maybe 5.
call her Miss Winthrop 1999.
Don't be.
Yes, because you have, I mean, you received 2 degrees from there,
I
which is
did.
amazing. Yes,
did.
yes.
I
And
did.
so she holds down the degrees from Winthrop. My experience was different because as we went there together, but we didn't finish together. And so, but I do still have fond memories of Winthrop, because Winthrop, I affectionately call Winthrop my real college experience.
Yeah.
Because when I was there for 2.5 years and changed my degree and ended up transferring after 5 semesters from Winthrop. But those 5 semesters that I attended Winthrop University, because I went there with the intention of being a pediatrician, so I was biology pre-med. Those 5 semesters were such a great time in my life, and I'm so glad I had them, because once I got to my medical school for nursing, it was a different world. And so that is what I really lean on, the relationships that the people I met when I was there, all of the organizations that we were able to be a part of. You remember Circle K?
Of course I remember Surfer K.
We went to Carowinds with them. We went to the Million Woman March. All of these experiences that I was able to have with Marilyn and with my friends at Winthrop, and people to this day that I'm still connected to. I love dearly because I met them at Winthrop in that time. And it was not like a free time. I really think of Winthrop as my free time, right? And it didn't make college feel hard for me. The only hard part was leaving, leaving all the people that I had grown to love and care for, and kind of tread a different path. And so I still remember my advisor from the biology department, Dr. James Johnston. Honey, listen, that man, and he was there for a while after I graduated from nursing school, because I would come back to campus to see him, because he had such an integral part in me changing my major. He was the one that said, "What about nursing?" Because let me tell you, so the story is, Dr. Johnson, when I was in his office one day, trying to get my schedule for the upcoming semester, right? he said, okay, what kind of classes you want to take? And he has such an enthusiasm. And you know, biology is one of those things that either you love it or you don't.
Yeah.
This man was
I didn't
always,
love it.
no,
I'm a man.
this man was always enthusiastic about bio, all things bio. And so once I took my chemistry classes, okay, at Winthrop University, because as a pre-med, you have to take what? All the biology, all the sciences, right? I took chemistry, 2 semesters of chemistry with lab, and I ended up not feeling as smart as I thought I was, okay, at the end of that. And so Dr. Johnson was like, well, it's time for you to register for organic chemistry. I said, sir, it's not.
Organic.
No, sir. He said, well, you have to take that if you go into medical school, organic chemistry. And he didn't understand how much I had just fought for my life to pass to regular chemistry. And so he literally said, well, if you don't want to become a doctor, what about nursing? And I had never considered nursing until he said that in his office.
The first time I'm hearing this story, everybody.
Hearing the story. Lots of things that have happened.
First time.
Seriously. He said, well, what about nursing? And I'm like, well, we don't have nursing here at Winthrop.
That's right.
And that's when he was like, well, we don't. But if you want to be a nurse, you can find a program, like a 2+2 program, because I'd already gotten all the prerequisites. I'd already taken the micro, the chemistries, the A&P, all of that stuff. Bio people, shout out. We spend a lot of time in Sims, okay? Yes, Dr. Chisholm. I remember her talking about Pato's monkeys for no reason. I don't understand it. Okay. Still to this day, I remember this. She would take trips to Africa during the summer. Ask me why I remember this. Dr. Chisholm, if you're out there, I remember your stories about the Pato's monkeys. Okay. Yes, all of that. So Dr. James Johnson really had a huge impact in my decision to become a nurse and my deathly fear of organic chemistry. Okay. Because I was not going to take that and fail.
Well, I applaud you for even going down that path, Sissy. That is nurses, anyone who's in the business of caregiving, caring for people. You guys are the real MVPs. Those of us who are behind the scenes, we don't have to touch patients. We just do what we do behind the scenes. So I want to take a moment, since you mentioned Dr. Johnson, I will have to give my favorite faculty members a shout out, and I don't know where they are. I know Dr. Lyman, he was in the health administration program. Is it Scott Lyman? I think it's Scott Lyman. And then of course Charles Abbas, who taught me all the basics about accounting, and I will never forget. It's funny how we can remember and recall things from almost 30 years ago. But last week, don't ask me what I wore last Wednesday. I don't know. I can't tell you. But he did this illustration on the board. And imagine being young, 18, 19, 20. Pretty sure I had to take that first accounting in my sophomore year, maybe freshman, sophomore year. And he did an illustration that showed us how we could basically have or accrue, I think it was like $100,000 by the time we are, was it 50?
Oh, wow.
Late 40s, 50. I can't remember all the numbers, but I remember he said his message was basically youth was on our side. So if we started saving early at that point of time in our lives, once we get to the age where we almost are, we will have a great nest egg, retirement, whatever you wanted to use it for.
She didn't share that story with me either, because we'd be rich by then. But thank you. Thanks, honey. Go ahead. Keep sharing your story. So you kept that to yourself too.
I did. I'm sorry. But our faculty members were next to none. They had clinical and practical experience. So Professor Alvarez was a practicing CPA accountant. I believe there was the guy who used Dr. Brakefield. I think he taught business law.
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they were, so we had some, Dr. Spears. I could just name a lot of people in the College of Business, professors, who just made my experience so rich. To the point where when I think back, it's all good.
It's all good.
I even had the opportunity to serve on the Dean's Advisory Council before I left. And that was a great opportunity. But to your point of the organizations we were a part of, like all the things, student government,
we were part of
SGA. I think they had a name change in the early 2000s, but I think they changed it back to student government. That has been, that the name of it has changed, but the purpose of it has not. So it was just a really good time
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Yeah.
And it would always be my fondest of memories when I think about my life holistically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so Marilyn and I actually started talking to some others in our family who attended Winthrop before us.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting as I spoke with our aunt early this week, when I was just asking her some general questions about, what was your experience like, at Winthrop University? She had nothing negative to say.
Oh my
And
goodness.
just mind you, the years that she attended was 1971 to 1975. And so we were not even born
Not even born.
when
Not even
she
born.
and our other aunt, were on the campus of Winthrop University.
Yeah.
And she said she had a great experience. She had nothing negative to say, nothing negative to say. And so when I asked her, if you had to choose Winthrop again, would you choose Winthrop or would you choose something differently? She said, absolutely not. Let me quote her because she said I need to quote her.
Yes, please
She
quote.
said, yes. Um, if you had to choose again, would you still choose Winthrop? Was my question. She said, yes. It is a very good school. It still has an excellent reputation, and it continues to grow and expand by leaps and bounds. I would absolutely choose Winthrop again.
I love that.
Yes, she did. And so, even just talking to her and some commonalities that I didn't even know about that we had, and so we'll share those at another time.
Yes.
But it just gave me all the feels to know that they've set foot on the campus that number one, it was in the 70s. So segregation was, and we talked about that a little bit, and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll get her on the show for our next one, and she can talk a little bit more about that because that's something you and I didn't have to experience in the 90s, right?
No.
Well, it was selective, but anyway, yes. And so just to hear that, how those things made her feel, because, people that look like us in that era, first of all, it was just a great thing. And that's a understatement that we have people in our family that were attending college in the 70s, and then our grandmother who attended Benedict College in the, what, 50s or
You
60s.
do the math. I'm
Okay.
not sure.
Yes. So our grandmother did attend
Yeah.
HBCU.
Yeah.
And so that's a different story. But
Yeah.
you spoke with our niece, and
I
she
did.
had some reflections to share as well.
I did. So as we said earlier, her time there was 2014 to 2018. And then she actually completed in 2023.
That's right.
She did. And so when I asked her if she could choose Winthrop again, would she said yes. Was a resounding yes for her. And she said that because she thinks it was big enough as far as the campus, the environment, but it wasn't too big. She thought the location and the feel of Rock Hill itself was good for her. It wasn't a big city, but she knew that Charlotte was right there. So if she wanted more,
Yeah.
she could just
And we were
drive
there.
20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. And then our niece had the luxury of having family
there. That's
in
right.
the area.
Not, yeah.
And
Yeah.
we did not. So she always knew that if she didn't want to stay in her dorm room, or if
Yeah.
she needed or wanted a home cooked meal,
Yeah.
or that she had additional support. So she also had a great Winthrop experience. And like Melody said, the goal is to have them on the show at another time to talk personally about their Winthrop experience as well.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. And so then my daughter is in a very, very new program at Winthrop University, where they have Rock Hill School District and Winthrop University has come together and partnered in such a great way for juniors to be in what they call a middle college dual enrollment program. And they have spent countless hours putting this program together, and you had to apply. Juniors had to meet certain criteria. These are juniors all across the district, not just at one high school. You had to apply to be a part of the program. And so there was a GPA requirement. There were some community service requirements. My daughter applied. Of course, what's the word? We encouraged her. I'm not going to say forced. We encouraged her to apply because this program would actually be 2 years. So for her junior and senior year, she would have the opportunity to attend Winthrop University, take university level courses, and then also be able to accrue 36 hours of Winthrop credits.
That's a lot of hours.
36 hours of Winthrop credits. And so she applied and was selected. And so now she's part of the inaugural cohort of this partnership with the Rock Hill School District and Winthrop University. And she is having a ball in this program. She is learning a lot. She has access to world-class college professors as a junior in high school, which is something that obviously would have, blown our minds at that point if we could have had the same exposure. And so not sure if she'll be on the show, but she does. I see positive things happening with my daughter as a result of her involvement, and she just started in August, and so she has the same schedule as we. They have certain classes that they have to attend. There's things outside of classes that they have incorporated into this program for these juniors. And again, this is a 2-year program.
Yeah.
So she will have the opportunity of going to Winthrop's campus 4 times a week for 2 years. And so hence she'll be the next generation. And so we would, of course, if she decided to attend Winthrop,
If she decided
to, we would not be disappointed at all, right? But we'll let that decision be hers. But she is the last ring, I guess you can say, of the Winthrop University involvement, if you will. And so hopefully, maybe or not, it'll be permanent for her.
I hope so.
We hope so. Yeah.
So
We're not
that
gonna
would be,
force her. Yeah.
well, that would be great. And you know what? As you were talking about Michaela's experience, I just thought, and I don't know if you remember this, but we were familiar with Rock Hill as children as well.
That's right.
Because we had extended family in Rock Hill, so
Yep.
by way of our aunt and her husband's family. So Rock Hill wasn't new to us. So maybe that was also a part of the reason why
That's true.
we were comfortable
Yep. Coming up here.
coming to Rock Hill.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share because Winthrop, I think when it touched my radar as far as college, our older sister actually considered Winthrop. I don't know if you remember this.
I have no recollection of it.
Yes, our older sister considered Winthrop and did a college tour. And I apparently was on the tour with her.
No, you were not.
You weren't on the tour?
No, I was not. I don't know where I was.
Well, I believe I was on the tour with her. I think that's
Really?
yes. Yes.
Huh.
I remember being with
89, 90, 90.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, she decided not to go attend Winthrop. But or maybe I'm thinking about the tour that we went on.
Maybe. Because I have no recollection of us being involved with our older sister.
She had on and everything.
You see that?
I do. We're gonna ask. We'll ask. We'll ask her.
Mother would have had to bring her up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think seeing the campus also solidified it for me. We applied to other schools, got received partial scholarships to other schools. But at the end of the day, it was Winthrop University. And I have no regrets. I'm sure Melody has no regrets. And it's definitely one of the biggest and best decisions I've made in my life. And it has given me the platform, if you will, to have a successful career. So yes, we got to give, this episode is all about our love for Winthrop and what it has done for us.
Yes.
Personally, as well as the history it serves in our family.